Good morning. I know everyone else watches this in the evening, but it's morning for us.
I know it's always so funny to acknowledge what time of day we're at because it's a little different for everybody, but here we are.
Yes. If you are joining us for the first time, thank you for finding us on YouTube at the Pointing It Out podcast. I am Melissa McLeod here in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, at my shop, The Wool and the Floss, just outside of Detroit. And my partner in crime is
I am Megan Holmes, and I am here in sunny St. Louis, Missouri, actually in Kirkwood, Missouri, just outside of downtown St. Louis at my shop, the Needlepoint Clubhouse. So
nice.
here we are. I almost forgot because it's kind of chaos right now this time of year, but here we are.
I have my background blurred because I'm kind of tucked away in our back room, which is like kind of in mid review and it's a mess. And so, yeah, here I am on portrait mode, hoping I'm looking my sunny best with my weird background.
And
So
what's funny is I actually have a nice background, but my life is chaos. So, it's all smoke and mirrors.
there we go. So we are here today to talk about market. And it's so funny because you would think that Megan and I were away for 4, 5, 6 days, however you paint it. And you think we would have spent a ton of time together. But unfortunately, we are running around like crazy people at market and we barely saw each other, which in this case is probably a good thing since I came home with more than canvases. I came home with COVID. Thankfully, yeah, thankfully, nobody else that I was with has gotten it. To my knowledge, I've only heard of one other market person out of 600 people there that came home with COVID. And I saw her for literally 30 seconds. So I'm sure she and I did not share it. I'm sure it's, part of just not staying home in your bubble. And I think, we go out these days and we take some risks. And, I was in bed for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, something like that. It's all a blur, but that's behind me now. So yeah, I went a little early. Super sad that you couldn't join me. Um,
Well, yeah, yes, I, as
Different
people
stage of
may or
life.
may not know, have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old, and it's harder to get away for long periods of time. I have a husband, by the way, who did a great job of holding down the fort while I was gone, but adding 1 or 2 extra days was not going to go.
Pushing your luck.
It was going to go over, as my dad would say, like a lead balloon. So,
Yeah, yeah. So last year we were all able to go early. We all being we're friends with so many people in the industry, but we have a particular group of four of us that is pretty tight. Megan at the Needlepoint Clubhouse, our friend Deb at Stitcher's Garden, our friend Heidi at Chaparral. And so last year we went a couple days early because market, everyone thinks, oh, it is so that must be so fun. And it is super fun, but it's work. I mean, I come home exhausted. So last year we had the good fortune, Heidi hosted us. And we went a couple days early and it was magnificent. We had a couple like days of stitching and eating and chatting and sleeping in and all those things. So we tried to recreate that this year. Deb and I were the only ones available. And I have to pat myself on the back because Deb is our like restaurant guru. She loves picking restaurants, which I absolutely hate doing.
I was
I
going to
find
say, thank goodness there's somebody in the crowd because that is not my jam either.
I hate doing it. But she loves to do it. She finds it great fun and we appreciate it. So I inadvertently got chosen as the Airbnb picker. And
Oh,
I picked a rockin' good one. It was so good. It was so nice. The beds were comfy. It had was in a complex that had a swimming pool. I went to the pool Wednesday, Thursday. It was a gorgeous pool. We were the only ones there. We sat and stitched, some of us in the shade, some of us in the sun. Oh, it was just great.
oh my
The
God.
walking distance to a coffee shop, to uh like really good lunch restaurant, to an Irish bar that we had like snacks and beers at. Um, yeah, it was great. It was great. So we
Well,
may have to do it again next.
speaking of food, I learned the word fast casual. I might be the last person on the planet to know what that meant. But we did some fast casual dining while we were in Frisco, which I guess just means they don't come to your table and serve you.
Oh, like when we went
What's
to
the place? Hop Daddy, I think is what it was called. Was that what it's
it's
called?
I kept calling it
Perfectly?
Hop Daddy, and I think it's actually called Hop. Dodie or something. It's not daddy, it's something else. Cause I kept saying that. And Deb, Kaylee, my daughter, was with us, and they both were like, of course, my daughter's going, Mom, it's not that. And Deb's like, Melissa, get with the program. So I can't remember what it was, but it was very close to Hop
Either
Daddy.
way, and that actually works well in our world when we're at market, because you never know when you're going to kind of be able to like escape and grab food. So this was like one of those where but the food's like super good, and there was like a yummy bar, and so it was all good, and I had some time to have some rest and relaxation too, but not as much as you did. So good for you.
No, you snuck in a day early and you were going to go underground, and I was laughing when you told me you were going to hide out and not see anyone. I'm like, sure, and yeah.
It's not my style to go underground, but I got there just about wasn't even 8 hours before the rest of my staff, just because I wanted to kind of like settle and take a deep breath, and honestly it worked out well. But yes, I did actually catch up with some of our pals. Yeah, and so it ended up being a night of, what do I call it, catching up over some drinks. And so it was wonderful, but I did get to sleep in, and I did get a little bit of time to myself. But so we're not here to talk about how fabulous our vacation was. We are here to talk about.
Yeah. So that led into market. Market was supposed to start. So this is the Autumn Needlepoint Reunion. We had the pleasure of speaking with Victoria Whitson and Melissa Prince about a month ago to talk about how it was going to roll. And this is the second time they, along with some very helpful people in the industry, Don Lynch and Diane Bertelson, this is the second time they've planned this market. And they call it a no frills market. I call it a perfect level of frills market. Thrills too. There were some thrilling things we found.
Thrills. We'll talk about that in a minute.
But they did an amazing job. It is an exercise in many, many logistics. And I thought they handled it beautifully, beautifully well. I went off without a hitch as far as I was concerned. So probably like any wedding, there probably were hitches that they took care of that we never knew about, and things didn't go as they planned, but we wouldn't know it. So
I mean, you say no frills. So I think what people probably don't understand is the baseline that we were kind of dealing with. So in the past, there were some markets that were a little more like, there were classes, there would be like group discussions, there would be like maybe a dinner in a ballroom that everyone was invited to, and things like that. So it's not like everyone just shows up and it's a free-for-all. So we had name tags, and we had assigned rooms, and there was beautifully, smartly done QR codes. So you get off the elevator, you could hit the QR code and figure out where all the people were on that floor. And so from a no frills standpoint, it didn't mean that we all just kind of showed up at a hotel and people dropped their stuff off and ran around. It was organized to the extent that we knew where people were, who people were, badges, name tags, those kinds of things, but just not kind of like baseline, like different from what we were, a little different from what we had kind of in for years and years, kind of more of a frills, meaning like parties and stuff like that. So yeah, so to your point, it was beautifully executed. There was just enough organization to keep it all running smoothly, but it wasn't over the top, which is not really what anybody needs in my opinion. But
well, and just in case that sounded offensive, I didn't mean for it to. Victoria and Melissa kept labeling it as a no frills market.
Yeah. I just wanted to explain what that meant to people who may have never seen our other reviews of markets, which in the past were a little more kind of a little more like thematic and had like classes and all kinds of different things. So
cowboy dancers, all sorts of weird things.
Cowboys. There were murder mystery dinners. There was a lot of things that were fun, but I think for a lot of us now, we're kind of to the point in our industry where we've hit a fever pitch, and we're kind of just literally there to do work,
get the job done,
rest, do a little or a lot in my case, because that's what I do best, of networking and talking and those things. So, but yeah, so we I think what we're kind of going to launch into here is kind of our review of the designs. And I think I best have been able to sum it up as there were a lot of the kind of old standbys, the people in our industry who we kind of expect to be at market, who we see, who have been there for years, who are, we appreciate being there. The little, I wouldn't say backbone necessarily, but in some ways, you know, the Raymond Crawfords and the Susan Roberts of the world have been in our industry for way longer than I have. So I would call them the backbone or the skeleton of the industry. And then there's all kinds of new fresh meat happening too. So
Yes.
there's
There were
just
over 120 vendors. So that so for those of you that didn't listen to the last one or haven't been to a market, it's in a Embassy Suites hotel. So they use the front rooms as their showrooms and they sleep in their back rooms. Sometimes if it's a huge line, they tuck away their luggage and even use the back room for displays. And there were 5 floors of vendors in an Embassy Suite. So a huge number of vendors. And I was told that there were over 600 participants in the market, meaning that, you know, I had somebody helping me, you had 3 helpers there. So between the vendors and their helpers and the store owners and their staff, over 600 people running around this hotel.
You know, and the other thing I want to mention, so somebody came into came into the shop the other day and said, gosh, you stayed at an Embassy Suite. There's so many better, more posh, cool places. And I was like, look, we can't afford it. Our industry is full of small business owners. So, you know, I mean, we are not like sponsored by, you know, AT&T or like, you know, like when you see these big, what am I trying to say? Like conventions and things like this is an industry of small business. And so people are, again, using their room as their show space. And so it has to be kind of tight and a little, budget conscious, I guess, and in a good way. It doesn't offend me that we don't stay at a posh location. It's just
I love it. When in days of yore, and I can't remember if you went to markets when they were at convention centers. This is gonna make me sound like a total old lady, but I was like 10 years younger then, so I really was fairly young. Your back and your feet would be killing you because you're walking on those cement floors all day long.
mm-hmm.
You're in a hotel room, everything's, you know, carpeted and there's places to sit, and I just find it a lot more comfortable, and I know it's much more affordable for the vendors.
Right.
So I think it's a really good choice. So hours for the market were supposed to be Saturday and Sunday. But it's not like truly controlled. It was kind of then the vendors could do what they wanted. So many vendors opened on Friday. I ended up being there by myself. So I wanted to take full advantage of that. So I hopped over to the hotel at like noon on Friday and tried to stop in wherever I could. Liz was supposed to come with me. She got COVID too. We did not give it to each other. It's just everywhere now, people. So anyway, I was kind of there on my own. My daughter came to help, but she was a different kind of help than Liz would have been. And so, yeah, I was running. So I looked at the list and like I said, 120 vendors, but me shopping by myself, we're going to highlight some things that we really enjoyed at this market. Both of us really enjoyed, but it is by no means inclusive at all. There were 50 rooms I didn't even make it into, and that was not because I didn't want to. I literally just ran out of time. And we're going to run out of time today too if we were to talk about the 70 rooms I went into plus the others that Megan went into that I didn't make it. So we're just going to highlight some of things that like kind of stuck out to us. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And yes, what she said.
Okay. So I just thought Colors of Praise did a really fun thing this year that they had not done before, or I haven't seen anybody do before. And they announced prior to market, and Megan's going to be our tech director here. Hopefully, you know, we're not huge techie people. We muddle along okay. So hopefully we'll pull this off. We tried to upload pictures and look kind of organized and cool. So we'll see if we pull it off.
Yeah.
So she's going to try to share the screen. But Colors of Praise prior to market announced that they were bringing this gorgeous chair with them. And I talked to Marie at Colors of Praise, and she had said that her intent with Needlepoint was to get it out into the world, like have it be part of your interior design so that everyone sees your stitching, not just other stitchers. So they brought this chair to market and they sold it to the highest bidder. And I Do you remember what they were doing with the proceeds? I don't remember. I'm
You know,
sorry.
someone asked me that, was it a for-profit situation or a non-for-profit situation? And I really have absolutely no idea.
I
I
can't
thought it was
remember.
beautiful. I saw it. I thought it was really neat. And I know people were bidding on it. And was it such that your customers could bid on it too? Like if you said, hey,
Yes.
customer, if you want this, okay.
Yeah.
I honestly, this was one of those things that I missed kind of. I saw it from a distance, but this is one of the places that I didn't make it to. So I'll have to lean on you for this one.
Yeah, so customers could make a bid for the chair through their local shop if they so chose. And it actually ended up one of our buddies who's a shop owner, our friend Patty at Stitch Stash, actually won the chair. And it really is beautiful. And Marie, this is a new design. This is it a jaguar? What? No, leopard. It has spots.
It may be like a white leopard or something. I really don't know.
It's a
Sorry.
leopard. So sorry. Yeah, so our friend Patty ended up winning it, but this is one of Marie's new designs, and how she designed it, stitched it, and had it done in time for market, I don't know. But she has created some other designs. If you go forward, there's also
I can zoom in.
a picture of just the canvas too.
Yeah,
There we go. Oops, maybe there's not. So this is another larger design.
there it is. There it is. Oh, sorry.
So there's three of them. You could back up to the other two. That three very large designs. They're about 18 by 18, and they are intended to be part of an interior design decor, which I think is pretty fabulous. So they had a lot of other new things, but I thought this chair piece was particularly eye-catching and fun and different.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So we would call, I guess, Colors of Praise kind of one of the I don't want to use the word old.
Long time. Long time industry participants. I think
industry participants
since about 2008, as I recall, because she's been on the podcast. I think it was 2008.
That's kind of how we organized this discussion, was people that we kind of have seen before at market, have relationships with, have met in person, etc. And so the next couple of slides we have here are from vendors also of that kind of ilk.
So next up we have Ann Fisher, who's a good buddy of both of ours. As a matter of fact, she will be at the Pointing It Out podcast retreat in St. Louis for the second time. And I'm heading there in 2 weekends. Yay. So Ann was there, and she had this fabulous tray. And I think many people know that for a long time, there's been kind of like one acrylic guy that does a really great job, but he's been supporting basically the entire industry. And so Ann worked with Island House with this design, because this is a 10 by 10. Joanne, so this is, we can talk about Joanne at Island House at the same time that we talk about Ann Fisher, because to me, this was one of the most exciting things at market. And I think Ann made that comment to you as well, that she was really excited about this, because Joanne's trying to kind of like standardize acrylic sizes so that they can be produced more quickly if you have standard sizes. Mm-hmm. So Ann came across this. She has a collaboration with, help me, with who?
Jean, is this Jean Mason?
I believe so. Shame on me. I think that is correct. This is the zebra tray. So Ann has a couple designs that are exactly 10 by 10, designed to fit this beautiful acrylic. So there's her medallion in a new colorway and an exact 10 by 10 size to fit into these standardized acrylic sizes. And I think I threw some pictures in here of the acrylic up close too. So, I mean, it's just, can you see how thick that is? It's just, it's beautifully done. And I mean, I know you spent a long time with talking to Joanne, and as did I. Mm-hmm. And I just think she's an engineer by education and by original trade. And she is really thinking through this from a like way to mass produce things and do it quickly and beautifully well. She's really invested in machinery.
I'm really, really impressed with Joanne and her ability to kind of see through the sort of, I don't want to say every day, but like our kind of what we're used to in the needlepoint industry. I think that she's doing a really good job of revolutionizing the finishing piece, which we are in desperate need of. She's working on some ways to, I think, how do I say this? Like pre-produce some of the innards of some of the finishing processes, innards of some of the finishing. How do I say it? Like in other words, what she's doing is she's trying to figure out how to have things not all done by hand. She's thinking of ways to make it by machinery. I don't know if you went down that rabbit hole with her at all, but
well, with the standardized sizes, like the template, so people know exactly which size to stitch to, and she's really anxious to work with shops so that we can kind of get the word out there to everyone.
And as I explained to her, I'm impressed with her ability to take this kind of long time handcraft that is honestly we're just outgrowing, and she's really thinking about it from a tech and a more of an advanced kind of production way. And it's I can't say enough about what I think Joanne's doing for the finishing part of the industry.
Well, but keeping the right balance of also keeping it archival to much the certain degree. So she's kind of engineering the acrylic side of it and the template side of it, but still hand finishing our needlepoint and keeping it so that it will become potentially what we all hope to be a family heirloom, because that's what we all want our needlepoint.
Exactly right. Thank you for saying that. Yes, I left that part out. Yes, I totally agree. So bravo to Joanne, and bravo to some of these designers who have been in the industry for a while, but keep coming up with new ideas. So the next person
glommed on to that, and I think there were another number of other designers that, you know, we can't go down the whole rabbit hole, but a bunch of people are coming out with the standardized sizes to work with this acrylic, which I think is brilliant. So
yeah. So the next person who has been in the industry for a while, but who kind of brought in some new pieces and some new finishing ideas, really in collaboration with, is it Evergreen? I'm sorry, I can't remember.
And you know what I didn't realize, and maybe everybody else knew this, but we've mentioned Elizabeth Hurd on the podcast before. She's just a stitcher, but she's a prolific stitcher. And we talked about her when we were talking about how to organize your needlepoint and how to get things done, because she uses this app called Little Decisions, Tiny Decisions. There we go.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. That was her. So the tie into all this is I didn't realize that Evergreen Needlepoint was her daughter.
I think I did know that, but thank you for reminding me. Yes.
No, Elizabeth called her the other day because we brought in some Evergreen stuff. Is her name Anna? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I think her name's Anna. We brought in her stuff and she called here to thank us. So that was really sweet. And I had no idea that was her daughter until that conversation. So anyway, so back to Rachel Donnelly and the Evergreen drink koozies.
And so what I'm trying to do real quick is pull up a photo, because Melissa did a way better job of finding really good photos for this. And I kind of ran around my store and took some photos. So I'm going to show you the package of what this looks like and what I'm trying to do. So what Rachel Donnelly has done is partnered with,
you talk, I'll find the picture. I know what you're looking for.
Anna. Yep. So Rachel has partnered with Anna at Evergreen to create a self-finishing kind of combo. So Rachel created these hilarious little, what are they, 3x3 squares maybe?
Yes,
this one says hold my beer. There's one that says game day. There's one that says like tailgate.
Cheers. There's a pink one that says
there's one that says cheer. Exactly. Oh shoot, since your screen's blurred, we can't see your
let's see. Maybe. Anyway, so there's the full cozy. I don't think you can see it very well, but Rachel was holding it in a picture. So check out her Instagram page. There's a really cute picture of her watching football, because Rachel's a huge football fan.
I got it here. See here?
Yeah, yours you can see a little better. There we go.
So it says tailgate champs, I think, or champion or something. So in other words, this package that you saw in my photo was the canvas and the koozie, so that you can self-finish that all in one. So I thought that was
leather. Cool. They're leather on the outside and they're felted wool on the inside. And I've had people say, sorry, I've had a customer say to me, well, that seems kind of dumb. Like, what's going to keep it cold? Well, I used to, I kind of hate to say that, own a knitting shop. I used to knitting. Wool is naturally absorbent and a natural insulator. So it's actually a perfect choice. So
there you go. So so Rachel had those, and I'm sorry, now I'm losing my track on my photos. So
I think you could probably just leave it on the photos if you want.
Sure. So what's this? I don't know what this is.
This is so exciting. So Kate Dickerson always has a ginormous room, and I love going to Kate's rooms. She usually has like I said, it's huge. And she brings a ton of cash and carry. And that is my favorite way to get things from Kate, because you can see them in person. You're bringing them home with you. I brought home a ton of stuff from Kate. But what she had available to order was one of her new artists. And her name is Lindsay. It's spelled Brackeen. So I'm going to say it's probably Brackeen, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. So I apologize to Lindsay if I am not. But she is a new licensed artist to Kate's line. Many of things in the Kate's line are her own creations. She's a true artist herself, has been in the industry for almost, sorry, she told me 50 years, 50, not 15, 50. So she definitely wears the crown for sure. So she has some licensed artists, and this is a newer piece to her line. And there's a second one from the same artist that I popped in here. And I just thought they were really, really, really beautifully done.
Pretty. And I love that Picot, Picot. I never know how to say it. It looks like a Picot.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just thought they were really, really lovely. She had a second new licensed artist who right now, I apologize, I cannot come up with that name. But so Kate keeps adding to her own line with her own art, and then looking outside for other things that are adaptable to needlepoint. She then makes sure they are stitch painted, and she's doing a great job. So I was really excited by this new artist.
I'm excited about I'm excited about all of these. What am I talking about?
I know.
Next friend who's been in the industry for a while, but who had some new things, is Patricia Sohn.
Yes. And I loved this piece. As a matter of fact, I put it out for pre-order before market because I was just like, so what is amazing with Trisha stuff, and I don't know if you can zoom in on the stitch guide a little bit, Megan. But her designs, I mean, it's beautiful the way it is, but if you see it stitched, like, look at how her stitch guide and her stitch choices just make that design sing. I can't call it simplistic, but the painted design is not nearly what comes out of it.
I think that in addition to Patricia Sohn, someone who I don't think we're going to talk about is Ginny from Stitch Style, and her ability to take a relatively simple painted piece and then just make it just sing in the heavens. She's about, the two of them I'd say are kind of in the same class in that way.
For sure. But so this is a two-sided angel tree topper, and I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. I can't remember the price offhand, but the fact that it was a two-sided design plus this extensive stitch guide, I remember thinking to myself, wow, like that's pretty affordable and on a needlepoint curve basis.
Yeah. And then the complete antithesis. So this is just lovely, classic, beautiful. And then we get into Patricia's kind of cheeky things. So
which are inspired by her daughter. Did you know that? Her daughters
have given her this idea. So I can't remember what she calls this. Does she call this girls' night out coasters or something like that? So it's like, what the idea is that each person in your friend group would like identify like jokingly with one of the, kind of descriptors. And so these two, Drama Queen and Junior Leaguer, I think are two. There was also Hippie Chick, I think, and maybe one more that she added to this design, this group of kind of funny coasters, which I loved. The other thing I didn't snip a photo of is she added to some of her 13 count mesh ornaments, which we are in the shop kind of always looking for kind of interesting 13 count mesh ornaments, because it's kind of harder, I think, to get some designs. And there's one that is a ladybug, and when you get up close to it, it says ba on its head. So it's like a bug. And I just think it's hilarious. So that sense of humor is funny. The other sense of humor that I think is great is in her in these signs that she's doing. So one of my employees picked this up because she lives with all men now. Her daughter has gone off to college, and she's like, I am framing this and putting this in my home. I don't want to see any more boxer shorts. I don't want to see any more bare chests. Like, come on, guys.
Bring it up a bar.
Exactly. So that was fun and funny. And then of course I picked up a few of Patricia's kind of classic pieces that we just restocked. And so I guess that goes without saying. But the next person, sorry, I feel like we're flying through. I'm getting worried about my battery situation.
Well, okay. Well, we're going to keep on going and keep our fingers crossed. Okay. Yes. So then we have to talk about Melissa Prince for a minute. She's had some challenging health issues. There were definitely some brand new designs in her booth that were fabulous, but I happened across 3 designs that weren't brand new that somehow I had never fallen in love with before. And this 12 days wreath is unbelievable.
I know.
It's so beautiful. It is also designed to be a mini tree skirt. It's 14 inches in diameter. I think that circle is about 6 inches, as I recall. And I have to give our friend Susie Valerie
I was just going to ask if she did the stitching.
She did. So there's a stitch guide available. And I sold a bunch of these. I mean, it is Melissa's design is outstanding. Susie's stitch guide again just really makes it sing.
Intertwined. That's so cool.
I know Susie's a brilliant stitcher, and Melissa's designs are fabulous. So I kind of fell in love with this. We've sold a number of these, and I would love to stitch it myself. I have a thing for 12 days. If you guys follow me at all, yeah. So, and then there were 2 other designs from Melissa that are, again, I thought this was brand new. I hadn't seen it before.
I don't recognize it either.
I know there's a little gingham border for you, Megan.
Yeah, love it.
And the stylized pine cones. I love this. And then there's an angel piece that I also loved. Again, neither the pine cones or the angel were new. They were somehow new to me, and I live and breathe this stuff every day. So I'm not sure how I've missed these beautiful pieces, but I thought they were all gorgeous.
You know, and I think that's worth mentioning really quick, which is also kind of, even though there was a lot of like bright, shiny new objects, which we're going to get into next, so many of these designers have things that we just haven't had a chance to see. And what is old is new again, you know, like I think it's important for these designers who have been in the industry for a while to remind us sometimes of, hey, wait, have you ever seen this one? Do you think your customers would be interested in this? And I think to your point, I've seen that 12 days, but I've never really focused in on it. And I'm so glad that you highlighted that, because it's absolutely great.
And let's take a quick minute right now, because Melissa was one of the hosts of this awesome event. So again, it was Melissa Prince and Victoria Whitson, Don Lynch of Associated Talents and Two Sisters, and Diane Bertelson of Pepperberry. And I just really want to thank them all. It's all volunteer work. They spent, especially Melissa and Victoria, from Don and Diane would tell me that they spent a lot more time, but Don and Diane have been in the industry for a very long time and are, had so many words of wisdom, and I know helped out more than they're willing to admit. And they all 4 work tirelessly to support everyone in this industry. And if they didn't do this, we as stores wouldn't have things to bring to you. So
bravo, guys.
All 4. Yes. Okay. So next up, there were a ton of brand new designers at market, and or maybe it was their second show and we missed them, we being me or Megan, didn't see them the first show. So this is Initial K, and I met her at dinner one night. She was absolutely darling. She works at the Needleworks of Austin.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part. It's Christy, right? I think is her name.
She works with Ann Wheat Pace too.
Oh, love her.
I know. So anyways, I know you spent more time there. This was one of the places I really wanted to get to. And like I said, I was stretched way too thin being there by myself. So this will be top on my list in March, assuming she's there, but we'll let you talk about
yes, one thing that I loved, and I knew about Christy, but I hadn't really had a chance to really check out her designs. And honestly, she's someone who I'm thinking we need to get on the podcast. I mean, there's a lot of people we do, but her designs are all based on her quilt patterns. So I just find that fascinating when there's craft crossover, so she's been able to use her interest and her design sense in quilting and expanded that into needlepoint. And this is just a very small sampling. I didn't have a chance to get all the photos, but I'm staring at my back wall right now, and we picked up some things. So not only is her design sense and the geometrics really cool, but her color sense is awesome. They're bright, they're interesting. We are just yesterday here in the shop, we were taking a look at these and kind of saying, these are so cool. And they'd be, whoopsie, great clutches. But the other thing we're doing is pairing them with the free alphabet charts from DMC and saying, like, how cool would it be to chart in some of these spots, like your initial in a friend color. So like on the blue, we were thinking pink. On the pink, you could do lime green and do like one of the free charts from DMC and make that kind of a little more personalized and interesting. So just a thought, but her things are great. We also picked up some things that we're really excited to, whoopsie daisy. I messed that up. Sorry guys, let me get down here. Too many touching too many buttons. Sorry, hang on. How do I get to the end of so sorry.
That's okay. Are we going on to the next person?
I was trying to, and I hit the wrong button.
Okay.
So
So
I
I'll
don't.
start talking while you figure that out. So, one of the other people that I did get a chance to spend some time with is the gals from Penny Lynn. Krista and Amanda were awesome. This was their first time at a market, and you would never know it. Their room was incredible. And they really put a lot of forethought into it. They actually asked our little foursome of shop owners to be their first pre-market preview, and they had like a special showing for us, which was super sweet and super cute. So we went there at 4 o'clock on Friday, and we were the first people in their room. We were their guinea pigs, which we were thrilled to be. And they have many of Penny Lynn's own designs, but they also have a number of artists. They just now began repping Grant Point. Who else is in their line? Do you remember? Grant Point is their newest one.
Grant Point AC is Amanda's boyfriend, I think. I can't. I'm sorry. I should have looked it up.
It was a two for room. Lots and lots and lots of merchandise that came with lots of cash and carry. And Megan and I both went home with a lot of it.
And two things I want to note. So the business plan that Krista is kind of developing is that she is going to give the first showing to industry needlepoint shop owners, and then kind of take a pause before she offers them on her a direct site, which I think is a great way for her to manage her business from to support the local needlepoint shops, but then to also look out for her own bottom line, which I can respect, to try to, push inventory once she, needs to do that. But the other thing I wanted to mention here is, so the crest in the upper right-hand corner, the navy one with the hydrangea, was actually one that she developed for her own wedding. And then this whole line of crests has kind of sprouted, I think, from that first kind of one here in this corner here. The other thing that I thought was super cute that they're doing a lot of, and unfortunately I can't remember which designer is, so you'll see this one that says welcome to the family. Honestly, your pup Murphy needs this one, so you could put Murphy right here. This is supposed to be a puppy thing, and so this is welcome to the family. But they also have a lot of what they call life event things. So there's one that says first Christmas as grandparents. There's one that says first Christmas, for babies, and for anyway, I think they are doing a good job of kind of taking a really kind of simple idea and kind of working through it. So so I enjoyed that room too.
I threw another picture in there. So this was so I think they call this their rose trellis print, something like that. I can't remember. It had two colorways. So it had the blue with a touch of green, and then it had a pink and green. And I really tormented myself, honestly. I stood there like, which color to get? Why I didn't just bring home both, I don't know. But it's 13 mesh. I just thought it was super classic, beautiful, would be a great tray, a great pillow, a great clutch, like any sorts of things you can do.
It's gorgeous. I think I actually brought two of each back, and they're both gone. So this was one of the kind of a big seller for us. It's really classic, really pretty, and I agree with you, multi-purpose. So yeah. But this next one I actually really love a lot too.
Oh, I forgot I put that in here. We still have this stock. It's so, again, just super classic, like gorgeous.
Doesn't love a peony. And then a designer that's coming up next here is one who has been, I would call it, in the marketplace for a while, but one who I never really had a chance to either meet and or bring in.
Oh, and I've had her things for a while, just because there's of course you don't have the one that we sell all the time, which is the boating Santa.
Yeah. So Ann K Studios, she's kind of known for these sporty Santas, I guess is what she calls them. And they are so funny. So she's got Santa doing the cannonball. This is the needlepoint. I was trying to get into him, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually, but he's the needlepoint Santa. I have this idea that she needs to do needlepoint Mrs. Claus, but I'm putting that out there for the world, Ann K. I think that would be pretty cute. But anyway, she's got handyman Santa. She's got soccer Santa, Peloton Santa. So it's
so my husband doesn't watch the podcast, but my husband's getting the Peloton Santa for Christmas, because he's
hilarious
with the Peloton he got me for Christmas last year. He uses it more than I do. So I mean, I'm pretty good about it, but he's a daily rider. So
Nice. Well, and real quick, I'm going to stop the share because she also has some things that are not sporty Santas. This that says "Unstoppable" today, right here, and
Yep.
that song. Now I can't remember anyway who sings it, but that just happens to be behind me. So she's got other things in her line. We picked up a really pretty clutch. It's a nice. So she is kind of known for these sporty Santas, but there's more to her line than just that. But yeah.
And especially if you are an East Coaster, she's got a lot of stuff highlighting East Coast locations. So
you got it. Yep. So
okay,
I'm going to let you kind of talk about the next one because
okay, so
this was kind of like a big market win for you.
oh my gosh. Well, I just can't even believe how beautiful this piece is. So I went into Laura Love's booth, and we have to throw out a thank you to her. Unfortunately, due to COVID, our shop did not participate in local needlepoint shop day. Liz and I both being out, just we could not. But I had signed up ahead of time to be part of local needlepoint shop day, and I went into Laura's booth because she did a giveaway canvas, which we will now make one of the Pointing It Out podcast prizes, for the shops that said they were going to participate in local needlepoint shop day. So honestly, I kind of went in there like, I'll pick up my prize. Super sweet of her to support it in such a way. She's also the one I think who's in charge of like the local needlepoint shop Facebook page, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But she was super duper supportive of that. And I'm walking around her booth. She's got these amazing garlands, but they're a big undertaking. And so I've always been tempted by them, but haven't pulled the trigger on those. And then her mom was in there. Her mom's name is Jill. And her mom was stitching this gorgeous showstopper canvas.
Really?
If you flip to the next screen, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. She had so this is called her, I think she calls it the Christmas Botanical. I'm sorry, it's taken at a weird angle. They really are squares, even though they look oddly shaped here. But they actually come with nothing in the middle, and she'll do anything. She can do a monogram, she can do peace on earth, let heaven and nature sing. So she's also written a stitch guide for Let Heaven and Nature Sing that I think
sorry.
I think I'm the first one to have it in my hot little hands. So it isn't quite done being stitched here, but it's awfully close. And I just thought they were show stopping. There were also a series of 4 ornaments that were Christmas botanicals. They say peace, love, joy, and hope, I believe. I didn't put them in here, sorry. But they're the same red background with Christmas botanicals. So anyways, Laura, I think was thrilled with the attention this piece got. And
yeah,
we've sold like, I think 30 of them. I mean, it's a showstopper. It's a showstopper. Yes.
Wow. So, well, I don't think we sold 30 of the next one that we're going to show, but we at least sold 15. And it was so surprising to me that it did. So we were jokingly calling, so Stitch Rock. So Laura from Stitch Rock is a doll. Her things are so bright, so cheerful, lots of pink. And we got a chuckle out of this. We were calling it Rudolph Needs a Ride Home. So Rudolph spent a little too much time at the bar. He was tired. And so Santa had to give him a sober ride home. We were laughing really hard about this and bought a couple thinking it was just funny and cute. And we put it on our website. And I think we sold it 5 times the night that we put it up. So this, I have to be honest, I'm not sure if this is quote unquote new for her or if it was new. It is
new. Okay. It was a brand new design. I've carried her things for a long time. And
yeah. I mean, we've had her classic, like that pink Christmas tree. We've had the pink, the mug, the reindeer, like some of those things, but I'd never seen this and I just got a huge kick out of it.
That's brand new.
So this I also love because he's pink Santa. I mean, have you ever seen Santa painted in raspberry pink? I just think it's so cute.
It's very cute. And I'm a big fan of that little gingerbread house too, because look at how cute like all those little guys are in each of the windows. It's just darling.
So cute. So the other thing she did was, whoa, I'm sorry, I've got like hot fingers here. She did that in a 13 count mesh version, which is like maybe a 10-inch tall, maybe that's too much. But her thought was that then you would use that as your stand-up, the big gingerbread house, and then like you would do Santa and the reindeer and the tree as kind of like your village around it.
Cute.
And so I loved that idea too. So I think she's going to add maybe to that line. We also have a super secret, super exciting collaboration coming with her that we're going to launch on Small Business Saturday. And I am so excited. She sent me her screenshot of her flight that she booked to come in and hang out with us on Small Business Saturday. And we're super excited about that.
Oh, you smart. Good job.
Yeah. So
yeah, she had a really cute new stocking too. We put that on our story. It was really, really cute.
the other thing she does is I had not seen, and again, you know, I haven't been in the industry long enough to know whether this was new to the industry or not, but she does a Feliz Navidad round, which I hadn't seen anyone with that before. So we picked that up and sold that a couple times too. So yeah. So she just, it's nice to see some bright pink in the Christmas world, which I know you love too.
Yes.
Speaking of bright pink, this next photo is gorge.
Yeah, so this is from Blueberry Point. Blueberry Point, her name is Susan. She's a good old-fashioned Midwestern girl like us. I think she's from Minnesota, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And what I wish I had pictures of was, so I loved this spring piece. The other piece that I absolutely loved, again, sorry, I keep beating the same horse. It's not a dead horse, it's a very alive horse. Is she has a brand new 12 days pillow. And it's 12 by it's bigger than 12 by 12. I can't tell you exactly what size it is. But it has a little square for each days, and it was in like pinks and a soft mint green and golds, and it's just a really fresh look at 12 days all on a pillow. And I have it on order. It was a pre-order. It sounds like you ordered it as well.
Same. I don't think there were any that you could take home. I think it was
that was just pre-order.
And what's fun about it is it's very subtle. So there's like little bits and pieces of, and you kind of have to say, which bird is that? Is that the calling bird, or is that the turtle dove, or is that the partridge, or, you know? And she did make the comment, there are so many birds, I had to kind of figure out how to make them all different. And but there's like a little drum, and it's really fresh colorway, to your point. And a very kind of a modern twist a little bit, which is a little antithesis to her very classic like look, but it was really pretty. The one thing that I should have thrown the photo in here, but honestly, I think they're gone, I have to say about her. So, and I'll put this up in a story because I absolutely love this. I don't know if you got this from her. So we went into her room and she had a really interesting looking, pretty sort of old school looking Santa on a round, kind of a funny guy with a funny beard. I'm going to have to put this up in a story, maybe on our Instagram page or something. And Julie was with me and she said, oh, that Santa is so jolly. Isn't he cute? And she said, you know, that's based on a painting that my mother did. So when her mother passed away, she had known about this painting, but she said to her brothers, this painting is mine. And they were like, what? And so she took the painting, but then needle pointed or painted her own rounds for her siblings so that she could stitch it and kind of give it to them as the gift of like, hey, here's mom's painting. I have it, but you have a small piece of it now. And people loved it so much that she decided to put it, you know, in her line. And he is so cute, and the story is just even cuter. And when you see the painting, the kind of like vintage, probably like 1960s or 70s Santa with the ornament, it's really sweet and really special. So I enjoyed talking to her about that.
She had a rose on like a crackled background. Did you see that piece?
I don't remember that one.
I brought that one home as well. I think it's still here. But that is based on her mother's china as well. So
and then she also has a lot of blueberries in her piece too, which you just don't see that much. I haven't seen blueberries painted that much. I thought that was so okay. And then her business is called Blueberry Point because her cottage is on Blueberry Point. Just in case
okay. I have not.
You know me, love a good backstory. Okay.
And I think that our last, it's not our last highlight. The next one is Judy Tesh. And so I'm going to let you talk about Judy. It was, again, unfortunately, like I said, there were 50 rooms I didn't make it into. And sadly, Judy's one of them.
So speaking of old school, this is one of the pieces, and I know it seems like a goofy piece to be drawn to, but if you ever learned how to sew, like in home ec, or if your mom taught you, you recognize this, right? So this is old pin cushion that that little droplet there had like sand in it or something. I never exactly understood. I thought I remembered that it was there to like sharpen your needle or something like that.
It sharpens and cleans your needle.
Okay. So anyway, I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to stop by there and get that for my mom, because my mom is a seamstress. And so I picked those up. And then while we were there, shoot, unfortunately, I didn't add any other photos, but she had a few other things that were pretty cute. She has just to the upper right of this photo, you can see here, she's got like this kind of pink ginger jar that was really pretty. And then she also had a Mackenzie Childs inspired teapot, which I know a lot of people who are tea drinkers and Mackenzie Childs people would enjoy. But anyway, this is just one of the things that it stuck out to me because I had never seen anyone put that in needlepoint, and I thought it was super.
I'll throw in something kind of funny to you. For years, I was like, as a younger person, why do they call it a strawberry? It's a tomato. I'm so confused because I never realized that the little dangly part was a strawberry.
So. Yes, it is a strawberry, but yes, that's
they funny. Call it a strawberry pincushion, I think. So, but
I don't know that I ever knew that there was a name for it, but I definitely recognized it. So
yes. Okay, and last but not least is a gal that both Megan and I have been working with for quite some time. Rachel Berry is a good old-fashioned Canadian. You guys probably know that my shop is right on the border of Canada. Windsor is the only. Detroit is the only place in the country that is, Windsor is the only place in the country that is south of Detroit. So Windsor is a mere 8 miles from us. She's actually in Toronto, which is about 4 hours from me. And Megan and I have been carrying her things for quite some time. And I will let Megan talk about these. Oh, cute.
So we had to pick more of these up because you all know that we have that memory thread bar. And so our finisher had this idea to do, so these are her Mylar balloon series, which I love when somebody takes like something in the world that is like, so I'm sorry, basic, like this is those letters, the Mylar balloon letters. It's pretty basic, but her ability to paint like all of that shading and make it look kind of three-dimensional, I get a kick out of that. I just think it's pretty. And then I love how our finisher finished this. So
people haven't had a chance to watch the podcast that you did with her, which I watched from my COVID bed. So thank you both for entertaining me. I did not realize that she had gone to art school. I should have realized it because she's so talented.
She really is.
So young for our industry. And yeah, she went to Parsons in New York. And I thought the podcast was fascinating. So if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it.
It was super fun to talk to her. And to your point, like we talked a lot about the dimensionality that she's able to create in needlepoint. And I think that that's an art that's not necessarily easy to do. So, so we went ahead and restocked a number of her Mylar balloons. Like I said, I get a kick out of them. So I think those are cute. That's kind of an old standby of hers. But then she launched these. And if you want to, oh, darn it.
Yeah. I did it. So I am positively in love with self-finishing items at our shop, probably because finishing is such a bear to keep up with. When people come up with a really great self-finish, I go a little crazy. So she came out with these clutch bags. They are, and she's 27, is that right? I think she's 27 years old.
Around there.
So she's like, you know what? I just wanted something super stylish and super functional. So these bags, you can kind of see in there how she has like credit card slots. So there's kind of like a wallet built into the clutch and then like room for a lipstick and a phone and all sorts of things. And there's a detachable silver chain, which you can kind of see there. And there's a little handle on the top. And then she has designed, I believe they're 3x6 designs that fit into them. And we did these as pre-orders on our website and everybody went crazy. I think they're due in November, end of November, beginning of December. And they're a pebbled leather. Megan's trying to prove that everyone's a runner on me. So they're a pebbled leather and they're absolutely gorgeous. They're also available in black. She did not have a sample there. How do you have one, you little stinker?
Yeah, you got to know people.
Well, so, I pretty darn well. I'm surprised. Okay. So they're beautiful. They're absolutely.
I wanted to show also that there's a zipper pocket.
Yes.
They're awesome. It's really awesome. And she also does in this, I've not tried to finish one of these. Have you tried to finish one of these yet? Where she's
got a little tutorial on them. Yeah, they're double adhesive, so they really stay put.
And then I just wanted to, you mentioned silver chain, but I think
depends on the color.
The blue. Yeah. It's only the blue that has the silver, and then the others have the gold. But When I brought it and showed it to a couple people, oh, and it's also removable. Did you say that?
Yes.
This is a really substantial chain. Like it's heavy.
Yeah, it's not something cheap.
It's not inexpensive to purchase, but they're so well done.
And there's no finishing cost.
So I'm sorry.
And there's no finishing cost. So she's also, you could put any design in there. They're a 3x6 insert. And she has designed some beautiful pieces to go inside of it, which I think I have a picture of her design. So there's the bee stitched. But if you there's the inside, and then there she has 5 different designs.
Are really cute. I think, so she's so cute. She's so young and cool. And I'm like, so because all of these young women know way more about the couture designs and the like high-end designers than I do. So I'm like, so is this supposed to be inspired by? I think some of these might be inspired by some of the the Gucci's, the Dior's, the whatevers of the world, which I just can't keep track of. But yeah, so I think they're really cute. But I think Anne Fisher and there were a few others who designed specifically for this because Rachel called them and said, hey, I'm coming out with this thing. I think that's kind of how that went down.
And my understanding is it is the same size as the 3x6 inserts. Sorry, that's a repetitive statement, that go into the planet Earth, which is a very different style, that little zipper clutch.
Yeah. Are they the same? Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of becoming a more standard size. If you really liked one of these, you could probably extend the design a tiny bit and turn it into an eyeglass case. You could extend the design a little bit and put it into one of the acrylic clutches. So this 3x6 size that we're continuing to see a lot of has a lot of different places to be utilized,
which is great. Yeah, I really want one of these, and I can't decide when I'm going to put it in the front. I really want one, and I have not
decided what color.
You can't decide what color. I think this is going to be my color because it's totally me, but I can't decide what I want to put in. I like everything, but how you just have to I have something in my head, but it's not quite there yet. Anyway.
Yeah. So we, like I said, there were 120 designers. We've probably highlighted about 15 or 20 of them. We could go on for hours and hours, but anyways, that was kind of our highlights 10 days later of what's really stuck with us. But again, we could go on for hours because there were so many beautiful things. And it's always fun to come home and show off everything we found. And I've been obsessively on Instagram seeing what other shops found that I missed, because that's always the case too. So hurrah to all of the designers that keep making our world fabulous in needlepoint.
Yeah, yes, I came home with a really full, I don't know, full heart sounds silly, but just I was just happy. I was kind of filled up with excitement, and I just love the creative juice. And hey, guess what else? I still have 26% battery.
Yes, we did it. Well, good. Well, and thank you again one more time to the hosts of the show. It was fabulous. And next up I think there'll be a virtual show in January. And then I think there's also going to be a small show in January in California hosted by Fleur and Rainbow Gallery.
Ooh, that might be a nice place to be. Are they going to be in Southern Cali?
They're in Burbank. They do it out of their warehouse. They have not announced the date yet, but I saw Danny walking around talking to people, and I was particularly intrigued because my son's in San Diego, which is about an hour and a half from Burbank. So I'm like, could I double dip this trip? Maybe. So we'll see about that. And then the next kind of bigger show is in March, hosted by Kate Dickerson and Bruce from Creative. I can't remember the other hosts there. I think Don helps with that one. Don always has his fingers in the pie, thank God, because he knows what he's doing. It's all good stuff.
Exactly. I was going to say,
yeah, so that's so we will continue to bring you market news. It's really fun for us to share this. So.
And I don't know if this is okay to do a teaser, but I think, help me, because you remember you're the organized one. I'm the crazy one, the thinker. Next time we launch a new podcast episode, we will be together. Am I right about that?
We will.
Okay.
So we will be podcasting live from St. Louis. So I get to show up at the retreat and just stitch and have fun. And yes, I will. My one contribution besides enjoying my other stitchers that will be there is launching the podcast and getting that organized. And I think save the date mentioned at the end of the podcast for the Detroit spring event. So
excited
for that.
There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up here for the end of the year. So like you said, the retreat, we'll be announcing the spring retreat. And then I hope everyone's still working on their Pointing It Out podcast 22 and 22 challenge, because you alluded earlier to, we're still adding prizes, which is super fun. So
I have 2 prizes that were, like I said, supposed to be part of the local needlepoint shop day that I will, of course, just move on to the Pointing It Out podcast end of the year challenge, because there was no more to be had around this place on local needlepoint shop day with so many people out. So,
well, I'll be honest, we participated, but just kind of in a dip your toe in the water, because there's just only so many things you can manage. So we did a little giveaway. We had an in-store discount, but but bravo again to those people who continue to forge ahead with that, because I think that's an important part of our industry as well. So celebrating the local needlepoint shop.
And if you have joined us for the first time or you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. You can subscribe without a Gmail account. It works. Don't worry. I've done it myself because I don't have a personal Gmail account. But that helps other people find us and share the love of our hobby and our art and all the people we have the good fortune to introduce you all to. So thank you for that.
Got it. All right, girl. Till next time.
Okay. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.